Greetings, adventurer, and welcome to the Elder Scrolls Library. My name is Aurelius, your lore master, and today we are reading and discussing 10 Commands, 9 Divines. The book 10 Commands, 9 Divines appears in only one of the Elder Scrolls games, Oblivion. The book contains the 10 commandments from the 9 divines, and also serves as a call for people to turn from their wickedness into the love of the 9 divines. Let's get into 10 Commands, 9 Divines. The 10 Commands of the 9 Divines. By the intercession of Saint Alessia, you may be so filled with grace and the strength and wisdom that comes from grace that through these teachings you may come to the true meaning of the 9 divines and their glories. To convey to man's mind all the manifold subtleties of truth and virtue may not be done where all the sea is ink and all the sky is the parchment upon which their wisdoms were writ. Yet Akatosh, in his wisdom, knowing how impatient is man, and how loath he is to travel upon the hard roads of truth, has allowed these 10 simple commands to be made manifest with powerful clarity and concise definition. Number 1. Stendar says, "Be kind and generous to the people of Tamriel. Protect the weak, heal the sick, and give to the needy." Number 2. Archay says, "Honor the earth, its creatures, and the spirits living and dead. Guard and tend the bounties of the mortal world, and do not profane the spirits of the dead." Number 3. Mara says, "Live soberly and peacefully. Honor your parents and preserve the peace and security of home and family." Number 4. Zenithar says, "Work hard and you will be rewarded. Spend wisely and you will be comfortable. Never steal or you will be punished." Number 5. Talos says, "Be strong for war. Be bold against enemies and evil, and defend the people of Tamriel." Number 6. Kinnereth says, "Use nature's gifts wisely. Respect her power and fear her fury." Number 7. Dibella says, "Open your heart to the noble secrets of art and love. Treasure the gifts of friendship. Seek joy and inspiration in the mysteries of love." Number 8. Julianos says, "Know the truth. Observe the law. When in doubt, seek wisdom from the wise." Number 9. Akatosh says, "Serve and obey your emperor. Study the covenants, worship the 9, do your duty, and heed the commands of the saints and priests." Number 10. The 9 say, "Above all else, be good to one another." If only each man might look into the mirror of these commands and see reflected there the bliss that might enfold them, were he to serve in strict obedience to these commands, he would be cast down and made contrite and humble. The obedient man may come to the altars of the 9 and be blessed, and may receive the comfort and healing of the 9, and may give thanks for his manifold blessings. Heedless, the wicked man turns away, and forsaking the simple wisdoms granted to him by the all-wise and all-knowing 9, he lives in sin and ignorance all the days of his life. He bears the awful burden of his crimes, and before men and God his wickedness is known, and neither blessing nor comfort may he expect from the altars and shrines of the 9. Yet the wicked and foolish are not doomed, for in their infinite mercies the 9 have said, 'Repent and do good works, and the fountains of grace shall once more spill forth upon you.' Repent your crimes, tender unto the emperor the fines of gold, that they may be used to spread the faith and its benefits to all men. Do yourself good works, redeem your infamy by shining deeds, show to all men and the 9 the good fame of the righteous man, and you may once again approach the altars and shrines of the chapel to receive the comfort and blessings of the 9. So, we start out by recognizing Saint Alessia, and because of her intercession we are to be filled with grace and come to know the true meaning of the divines. The word intercession means the action of intervening on behalf of another. The assumption is that through Saint Alessia we have access to the divines. or at the very least, we would then receive the ability to understand and know the true meaning of the divines. Yet, the next thing the book says is this: to convey to man's mind all the manifold subtleties of truth and virtue may not be done, were all the seas ink and all the skies the parchment upon which their wisdoms were writ. Basically saying people are too stupid to understand the real truth and virtue of the divines, but thankfully the book continues on and tells us that Akatosh, in his wisdom, has allowed these 10 commands to be made known to us. Alright, well, let's go over these commands. Number 1. Stendar says, be kind and generous to the people of Tamriel. Protect the weak, heal the sick, give to the needy. Stendar, sometimes called the apologist of man, is often viewed as the god of compassion and mercy. So the command associated with him does make sense. I do find it interesting, though, that it specifies the people of Tamriel, not just people in general. I wonder why that is. Number 2. RK says, honor the earth, its creatures, and the spirits, living and dead. Guard and tend the bounties of the mortal world, and do not profane the spirits of the dead. RK, also referred to as Lord of the Wheel of Life, is seen as the god of funerals and burial rites. He is also associated with seasons and change. His command here seems to track, basically telling people to honor life and have respect for the dead. Number 3. Mara says, live soberly and peacefully, honor your parents, and preserve the peace and security of home and family. Mara, while originally only being seen as a fertility goddess, is currently considered to be the goddess of love, fertility, agriculture, and compassion. Basically things associated with love, growth, and family. Weddings are commonly held in temples of Mara. Her command is right in line with who we know her to be. Number 4. Zenithar says, work hard and you will be rewarded. Spend wisely and you will be comfortable. Never steal or you will be punished. Zenithar is the god of work and commerce, also associated with wealth, communication, and community. So a command centered around working hard for what you have, being wise with what you have, and not stealing from others seems to make sense. Number 5. Talos says, be strong for war. Be bold against enemies and evil, and defend the people of Tamriel. Talos is the name by which we know the ascended being of Tiber Septim. Talos is generally seen as a patron of adventurers, warriors, and generals. He is the only one of the divines mentioned in this book that did not come into existence as a god. His command is on brand. Talos was a great warrior and general. Number 6. Kinnereth says, use nature's gifts wisely, respect her power and fear her fury. Kinnereth is the goddess of the heavens, the wind, the sea, the elements, and the unseen spirits. Her sphere of influence seems to have some crossover with RK. However, RK is more about life and death, whereas Kinnereth is more about nature and the elements. Her command to use nature's gifts wisely fits well. Number 7. Dibella says, open your heart to the noble secrets of art and love. Treasure the gifts of friendship, seek joy and inspiration in the mysteries of love. Dibella is the goddess of beauty, love, art, and music. Some of her followers engage in what could be considered as cult-like behavior. She is most well known for being worshipped by prostitutes and jealous mistresses, though her sphere does reach beyond that. Her command does seem to be on track, though. Number 8. Julianos says, know the truth, observe the law, when in doubt, seek wisdom from the wise. Julianos is the god of wisdom and logic. Simple and straightforward. He is associated with literature, history, contradictions, learning, and scholarship. Most often worshipped by wizards, his command is simple and to the point and in line for who he is. Number 9. Akatosh says, serve and obey your emperor. Study the covenants. Worship the 9. Do your duty. And heed the commands of the saints and the priests. Akatosh is the god of time, and is considered chief among the divines by most races across Tamriel. His command seems a little odd because it doesn't really have anything to do with himself or his sphere of influence, as is the case with the others. Number 10. The 9 say, "Above all else, be good to one another." That's a nice little tidbit you can take with you. After this, the book says that if only man would be obedient to these commands, then he would be made humble. He would receive healing and blessings. But the wicked man who does not obey, he lives in sin. He knows neither comfort nor blessings. But through the grace of the divines, if you would repent, you can experience the comfort and blessings of the 9. This whole book reads as, how do I put it? Mid-Third Era propaganda. Perhaps you've heard me refer to something else as that before. Mid-Third Era propaganda. I'm referring to something that was written in or post mid-Third Era, so after the ascension of Talos, and is usually something that is incredibly pro-Empire and pro-Talos worship. And my goodness, does this book hit the mark for that. From the very beginning, trying to use Saint Alessia as a pawn by which the divines will make these things known to you, disrespectful to Alessia. We get to Stendarr's command. It's mostly good, but that one little detail about specifying Tamriel, be good to the people of Tamriel, a very pro-Empire statement to make given that we know there are more continents than just the one. When we get to Talos, it's very clear. Talos worship, of course, has been a huge point of contention for centuries. Talos is not a divine. He simply isn't. The divines are the group of gods represented in different races and cultures that are known to be Aedra, born as gods and participated in the creation of Mundus. Talos does not fit this description. I'm not saying he isn't a god and that you can't worship him. I'm saying he doesn't belong in the pantheon of the divines. Considering him as one of the divines was done just to spite the elves, leading to centuries of contention. When we get to Akatosh, he's the god of time. Why does he care if you obey the Empire or not? Most of the commands given fit within the sphere of that god and don't have any political leaning. It's all about how you engage with each other and the world, except those few instances where the writer just goes off the rails and is all, be good to the people of Tamriel, hint hint, everyone else sucks. And then there's worship Talos, believe in Talos, he's one of the divines now, trust me. Oh, and also obey the Empire and give us money because Akatosh, the god of time, wants you to. Miss me with this garbage. There's such a variety of books in the Elder Scrolls. History books, with some being more accurate than others, books about the gods and creation, stories, myths, books that explain game mechanics, books with truths and inaccuracies, intentional or otherwise. Books like this are honestly why I love the Elder Scrolls so much. It provides so much for the lore and makes the world feel fully lived in by having these writings that are clearly being used simply for the purpose of control and indoctrination in universe, but also contains a lot of truth and accuracy, which I think is fascinating. Thank you so much for sticking around and listening. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and tell me what you think about this book in the comments below. And may the blessings of the 8 divines be upon you.